Hi, welcome to this video and this channel. This is going to be hopefully a short video about the follow-up to The Secret book that I read, and the secret of attraction. Okay, so the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. So in The Secret book there was references to other books that had been made, available, because they were the books that the author of The Secret, and I can't remember her name, Rhonda, she made references to, that she had on her research. So I bought all of those books, okay, and they've been a bit of an eye-opener, because those books were the original source. Specifically one book, which is by Charles Haanel, Haanel. I don't know quite whether it's Haanel or Haanel. I don't really know. But anyway, his book was previously published in 24 volumes, and people, I think, paid a lot of money back in 1916 or 17 or something when they were produced. And I managed to get a copy of that book, but a book with all of those in it. The book that I got was actually written in 1970 something, I think, but it was like almost a facsimile of the original 24 books, which was quite good. I have read other later versions, and they have been modified. The book has been modified, which is one of the reasons why I always go back to the original source. But anyway, The Master Key by Charles Haanel, I would highly recommend that you read that book. The Secret book is fantastic. It's well worth getting. It's like a very, very concise and not watered down, but it's very selective in what it actually is trying to tell people about The Secret or The Master Key. The Master Key book was actually the key bit to my understanding of the whole law of attraction and law of manifestation. What it was very, very good at, because it went into absolutely minute detail about where this whole system came from, okay, based on literally thousands of years of knowledge, previously. So the key to the Master Key, for me personally, was a kind of an affirmation, or a confirmation that pretty much everything I had been doing in my life, I'd been kind of doing it right. Okay, with the exception of a few things which I got out of that book, which really hammered it home for me where I had made mistakes before in my life. It was very good at answering the key to life and everything to do with it. The answer to life, in my opinion, is in that book. If anyone ever asks me what that book is about, I will basically say it's the answer to life and everything in it, because it is. It is, from a psychological point of view. I think I've mentioned in videos before, from a psychological point of view, what I do with my therapy with clients is cut out the crap. Okay, cut out stuff that no longer serves people, cut out things that, I likened it recently to a conversation I had with someone where we're like an onion, okay, in our life, and we start off actually a very small onion with very thin layers of things in life, and as we get older, those layers get more and more and more intense, and a lot more thicker, and a lot more difficult to try and shed. Okay, so what we're interested in from a psychological point of view is the center of that onion. Everything else is extra, okay? And what we try to do is we try to use tools and techniques and methods and such like to try and if the person wants to get rid of those layers, so that those layers no longer filter out what the person really wants, and wants to try and manage in their life. To understand what is actually happening to them. And I always believe that the more layers that you can get rid of, the better your life is going to be, basically, and the more control you have over it. So, that's what that book did for me. Okay, I got rid of an awful lot of my outer onion layers a long time ago, fortunately. And throughout my life, I mean, we tend to keep putting these layers on over time. It's just a natural way of life for humans. But you know, we need to understand that we need to get rid of the layers of that onion that is hindering us expanding and growing and being the person we really want to be. So, you know, as a therapist, that's my job. You know, is to give the person the tools to try and break down and discard things. I've just actually had a conversation with a client just now who you know, was finding it really difficult to work through a problem in their life. Having a conversation, and I'm using all the techniques of language and such, like the phone went really quiet, and then the client said to me, you know what, I've just got options. You've just given me options. I now have a solution. That was the words. I now have a solution. I've just figured that out. And that for me is exactly what I want to hear as a therapist. I'm not solving their solutions. Everybody has the ability to solve their own solutions and sort their own life out, whether it be mental health, whether it be work, whether it be relationships, whether it be whatever, you know, their physical health. It doesn't really matter what it is. But as a therapist, my job, my satisfaction in helping people is that aha moment that somebody gets when they realize they now have options. They now have a solution to a problem that probably they've been dealing with. They could have been dealing with it for 6 months. They may have been dealing with it for 20 years. Doesn't really matter. But having that kind of insight into helping someone is what spurs me on, and that's exactly what that book has done. It helped me realize things that I have. Okay, I'm going to give the example that was in that book. A seed is planted. Okay, you plant a seed, and you water it, and you let it grow. Okay, and you then begin to realize that actually nothing's coming out. You know, what's happening over a period of time. You think, well, this is, you know, I want this plant to grow, I want this seed to grow, and nothing happens. Okay, so you kind of go along your path and you're wishing for this thing to happen, you know, this germination, this growth, and it doesn't happen. So you don't see any visible signs, let's say. Okay, and then you start to doubt, and you then start to think, well, actually this seed that I've just planted is probably not going to grow. Okay, so you stop nurturing, you stop watering it. Maybe you know, you don't want to keep disturbing it. That's a different ball game. I probably did do that. You know, I planted the seed and then did nothing but keep poking and prodding it. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to plant your seed, water it, leave it, and let it grow. What I was doing in my life, and I now realise this, so this was the aha moment with regard to psychology from that book, was possibly just as that seed or those leaves were going to break the ground and come out, I changed my direction, my attention, because I stopped believing, and I changed my direction into another, you know, and left it, and that just died, because obviously I'm no longer nurturing it, and I know now that that's what I've been doing throughout my life. I've been planting the seeds, waiting for something to happen, and I believe just as it's about to break the ground and start to come to fruition and grow, I've diverted off because I've lost faith in it, you know. That's an insight from me. I mean, to me that was quite a big aha moment. I went round pretty much all day just going, wow, you know, okay, you know, when you get one of those moments in your life, you just kind of think, wow, how come I didn't know? You know, why didn't I know? Now I do know. And so, you know, and there were other things in that book which also just helped me to focus more on what I want to achieve. Okay, I know this sounds probably kind of superficial in a way, but it absolutely focused for me areas that I needed to keep reigniting and keep feeding, okay, and keep reaffirming. So definitely go and buy a copy of Charles Haanel's book, The Master Key, and if you can, try and get an edition that's actually a lot older. You know, I haven't bought an edition that was maybe printed in the last 10 years maybe. I can't speak for that, but I know that one of the books that I looked at had the author's input. You don't really want that. You want the original. You want to try and buy as old as possible a facsimile of the original book, so that you get the original text. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to share. Highly recommend that you go and buy that book. And if you like the PDF form, of course, you can even get the book for free. And I will stick a link in the comments of this where you can go and find these books for free, because they're no longer under license or copyright law anymore, because they're so old. So, you know, there is that option. But I like my books. I like the PDF version, and I like the physical book as well. And so I bought all the books. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope that this has been inspiring for somebody, and I shall see you again soon.